All right. So, guys, welcome to another unboxing. And we're
Thanks.
here to open the KELP.
Drill?
No, I almost
Help.
said that.
Ah,
Open the KELP. Now, we are actually quite far into the campaign. We're over halfway through year 3, I believe. So, we've gotten it quite late. And we've just had a retirement. And now we're unboxing the drill. And it's going to our friend Mark. And we're very
help.
excited to now
Help.
see,
Help. Stop saying drill.
KELP. Kill. We'll go with that. So this is a KELP unboxing. Are you ready to have a look at the very first page? Because I've got the window here and yet I still have not seen it.
Yes, and I have seen it, but I haven't read anything. I had
Perfect.
to look at the picture.
That's fine. Oh yeah, because you're painting the mini, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right. So for my eyes and for somewhat yours in a weird memory way, the KELP class is
A crab.
I think we figured that. A lurker deep wraith.
Ooh.
Is that the first call to a deep wraith?
What's a deep wraith?
I don't know. Wait, what was the coral again?
Crashing tide.
That's it. Okay, yeah. So, okay, they're just very unique titles for that character.
Yeah, interestingly enough, though, the lore stuff, like crashing tide lines up with, like, in the solo scenario, how they all had, like, or a
Yes.
sun type. Yeah, but where Lurker Deep Wraith kind of just seems like it's like crab, the name of it's like race and class.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I can
So
sort of see
yeah,
that, yeah.
but I will read the we won't read out the fluff, the flavor on here, but I do really like it. I remember reading the Prism stuff and going like, oh wow, that's really cool. So I'm hoping that there's something cool in there as well because I quite like the Lurker place. There's a little crab part of my heart that's still there.
Yeah, yeah, little crabby heart. We'll
Mm.
just do quickly the basic stuff and then I'll let you jump over the abilities, which looks like a wall of text as per usual. So you probably have a better understanding of what's going on there. 10 card limit,
Oh,
which is pretty normal now, I would say. I'd almost say that's just the average, right?
well, this is for our friend Mark who is playing this character, right? So he's going up hand sides. So
Yeah, okay. Except because he was playing the fist, unlimited.
spoilers,
He was playing the
spoilers.
fist. That's what I can
Yeah.
say fist. I
Oh,
won't go
yeah.
into
That,
why.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So it's got medium health from the looks of it.
Is that
And
health?
pardon?
Is that drifter health?
No. It's my
Okay.
drifter health, but not general drifter health.
Actual drifter
Yes.
health. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So
Cool.
it's a 20 health. It seems to be super melee
Yeah.
based, like crazy melee based. Is that like a 1 for
I think
ranged?
it's a 0. I think it's just there so that it doesn't look like you think that it's a misprint that they missed it, right?
Yeah.
Because it looks like the lines going across equate to the numbers, and support and defense are 1.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, defense is 1. So he's high melee,
Oh.
high mobility, like low
Control.
defense. Oh, okay. I'm
Complexity
getting
3.
Yeah, the name and the picture, I'm getting a bit of a Mind Snipper vibe from it, whereas, the Crashing Tide was
Ah.
more the bulky, whatever they're called, big fighter crab. This one seems more of a Mind Snipper, like mess with your business type.
And Infinity is with the dark element. What does it
Which
do, guys?
nobody nobody does, right?
No.
Okay.
And you
What
don't
does
do
it do?
anything.
What does it do? So you want me to go through the class notes?
Yeah, let's have a look.
All right. So it's got 5 little places for circles for things on the bell board. So this is going to be an on-board one, it looks like.
Uh-huh.
You take trophies from your victims. Ooh, that sounds cool. Using
Um
them to camouflage yourself and intimidate your enemies.
so he's got to last hit things.
Maybe. Whenever an
Okay.
enemy dies from wound or bane. Ooh, bane. We're going to have someone who's going to run around putting bane on
Ah.
anything. Okay. Or you kill an enemy. Okay, so anytime something dies from wound or bane, or when it kills it, place 1
Okay.
trophy on the left. Okay, so you put a trophy on the board. At the
So
start.
any wound.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah. You
Ah.
start each scenario with 0 trophies and can have a maximum of 5. All right. They can be spent in a variety of ways through ability cards. Okay, cool. So trophies will be spent on ability cards. That's cool. One powerful way to spend trophies is through the top action of Skull Collection, which allows you to apply poison and muddle to your enemies. This consistent source of negative conditions may be essential to enable the top action of Succumb to Fear. Okay, so we'll come back to those cards when we look at it. But that maybe looks at why the defense isn't there. Although support is low as well. So I mean, unless they classify support as heals. So interesting. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so he's going to want to kill things, and he's going to want to wound and bane things.
Or, I mean, we can all do that, right? So, like, you've got wound potential. I don't know. Oh, you didn't get that card, did
I
you?
didn't get the spitting thing that wounds everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's
cool.
fine. I mean, it's cool that he's got almost on this sheet anyway for like negative status conditions that are tied to it. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's got two he obviously deals with whatever Skull Collection is. And then obviously he's got a trigger, which is anytime anything dies from wound and bane. Bane's going to be the interesting thing because none of us can do that. But it's assuming that he might.
Yeah, that's it. So, all right, so we jump into the cards.
Let's have a look at the cards.
All right, so let's hang. What was that one called? It's called Skull Collection, right? Like, I feel like we should start with that because it's mentioned it, and then maybe we'll come back to number one.
Yeah,
so
I found it.
Cool. You want to go?
Yep. So it's a level 1 card, 22 initiative. During your turn, you may perform any number of the following abilities. So -1 trophy token, I assume.
Yep.
And you can apply poison within range 1. And then same thing, but with muddle. Oh, wow. And then there's another one to create the dark element. Oh, so this is during your turn, you can perform any number of the following abilities. Okay.
Oh, so that's a permanent persistent.
Yes. It's a permanent
Okay,
persistent.
this makes sense because I thought it was like do it once for the whole. Yeah, okay. All right, so you put this out, and it means you can spend trophies to poison, to wound, or to create dark.
Interestingly, I've just seen, because I'm like, what does the range 1 mean? How does that impact it? But you can choose to do this before you've attacked something. So you can actually poison something and then attack it to actually gain the bonus of it,
Cool.
which is pretty cool. So, and then muddle as well.
But that wouldn't be for the dark because when you generate an element, they always come in at the end, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, okay. You can't consume it. Yeah, okay.
No, but it's a way of always consistently never having to play a dark generating card, provided you have the trophies.
That's really good point. All right, and the other card that it's linked to.
Oh, just quickly, the bottom of it is a move 4,
Oh.
which is obviously great. We like a lot of movement.
Yeah, move 4 on the bottom of a persistent card. We're gonna see lots of use.
Yeah, look, that doesn't mean he has to use this card.
That's true.
Okay,
That's
it's
true.
just like one with the other card, whatever he had. Never mind.
One with the mountain that he used the first time every time.
Well, spoilers, right?
Oh, yeah, true. Sorry. And Succumb to Fear, which was the other card that was referenced on the sheet. So that's also a level 1 card.
Yep. Okay.
So that's
there it is.
spend one trophy to Bane, targeting one adjacent normal or elite enemy that has 3 or more negative conditions.
Oh,
Okay. All
that's a
right. So
requirement.
spend a trophy to chuck Bane on something, but it's got to have 3 or more negative conditions. All right. So it's initiative 20. So it's a decent initiative card to take anyway, and he gets an XP for that. And the bottom is a teleport 3,
Ooh.
muddle, all within range 1. So okay. Okay, cool. So here, as long as he's got a trophy, he has a reliable, in inverted commas, because he's got to have 3 conditions on him, way of putting Bane out, which is good. That's not a lost card.
Yeah. My next question is, he has 3 trophies. It's just once, right?
As in, could you spend 3 to target 3 targets? Don't know.
I would assume it's once. It may not be. Who knows? But yeah.
Stuff. So yeah, cool. Oh, that's already interesting. Seeing that as the example that it gives on the cards to, you're going to collect these trophies, and you've got ways of spending them and putting them out there. Because with Skull Collection, poison and wound, that's 2 of the 3 that he needs. So if he could collect a bunch, sorry, poison and muddle, yeah. Cool. Anyway, let's go back to the start, and you can read through.
All right. So Black Scythe, initiative 45, which is fairly meh. Attack 3, consume dark to make it a +1, so attack 4, curse, XP. Nice, clean. Sounds like a good level 1 card, bread and butter with the dark element. The bottom of it is to pick up a loot and gain a trophy. So he's got other ways of gaining trophies that aren't linked to killing stuff, just in case you're up against a whole bunch of I don't know, is it ruin machines or one of the robots that can't be, I don't know, wounded or something like that, right? Hey team, just quickly, throughout the rest of the video, I keep assuming that like you can only get the trophies if Wound and Bane goes off, but on the actual player mat it does say that it, and also he could kill them himself. So yeah, there are 3 ways of getting trophies based on all of that, but I keep forgetting that. So I'm like thinking about, oh, it can only be done from Bane and Wound. So yeah, sorry about that. So that's, yeah, I feel like that will have a place at least in your starting lineup of cards. Will probably fall off. We can alternate this, guys.
Okay. So next one is Hollow Aura. Attack 3 with Pierce 2. Okay, so that's good.
We got a
Like
Pierce
a
again.
reliable source of Pierce, yeah. Creates Dark as well, which also seems like it's going to be important. Initiative 88, so I should have said that, which is great, right? Because either one high or low. 45 is terrible.
Well, if your defense is
88,
quite low as well, it gives him a way to work around that. Yeah.
that's, yeah, good point, good point. And the bottom is a move 2. Eat any element to gain a trophy.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
So another way of doing it.
all right. So it kind of just from these 2 cards, it's seeming like getting trophies is going to be reasonably easy, right? Like it's going to be a resource he's going to burn fairly regularly, not just killing things. Because from the character card, it seemed like it was only when you kill things.
Yeah. I'm the only one that really makes elements like a lot. I've just realized. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can see
Well, good
some
luck
arguing
with that.
happening
I'm
there.
glad. Yeah, I'm glad that I don't make any elements because I'm not involved in this. You can bicker amongst yourselves. So.
Good.
Cool. Yeah. So again, that seems good. I mean, a reliable source of Pierce. It's probably something that we've missed for a while, and it brings you back into those situations where you've got spirits or things on 1 or 2 health that you just go, "Ugh, I'm going to need attack 5 to get through this." So that
Great
seems
point. Great point. And then of course, yeah, he can poison it as well, right? With trophy removal with Skull Collection. So, he can just further enhance this through that. And I'm sure there's going to be other ways of doing it as well.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, right? Like, you might be in a situation where, as you said, you can spend that trophy before you attack to put poison on it to give an extra damage, which might almost guarantee you push it across the line, meaning that then you get the trophy back. So you're kind of doing that case where it's okay to spend 1 because you gain 1 back, and you can kind of keep that engine going.
Skull Collection is the most consistent way of applying poison, which is such an important negative condition in the game for us to apply that doesn't require a tappable item that gets consumed. It doesn't require a card that has to be played at the right time. This is just always there. So as long as he's got the trophies for it and it's on his turn, he can be a reliable source of an increased damage on a boss, a powerful elite, whatever. And I think that's really strong to have just in any lineup, right?
For sure.
We have InCloud, Initiative 28. That's all right. He's going to be doing an attack 2, attacking all adjacent enemies. So he's going to want to be right in the thick of things sometimes. For an attack 2, we're going to hope that there's an AMD that's going to make that, like, yeah, you want that. Makes dark. And then on the bottom, it's an invis. Targeting all within range 1.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I mean, it's burn.
I mean, still,
I
there's
mean,
a
yeah, no.
million clutch situations where that could be amazing.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah, okay.
I
And
don't
it's
think
targeting
I've ever
all, so he's
seen.
also included.
Yeah. Well, oh, is he?
Well, it's not all allies get invis. All allies within range 1.
Does that mean it also targets enemies? No, you can't put positive effects on
Correct.
enemies.
Okay, yes.
Or
Okay.
you can put negative effects. Okay, allies. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Really cool.
That
Really
I've
cool.
never seen something. I can't remember anything from Gloomhaven or Frosthaven that makes something else invisible. That's really cool.
No, I like that. We'll be calling for that like it's the new birds.
Yeah. Invis. Yeah, like in cloud.
Mirana, right?
Yeah. All right. Okay, here it is. This is what we were looking for.
Okay.
All right. Lacerating stabs. Okay, so it's initiative 14, so you go on pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Attack 2 wound. Attack 2 wound. Add 1 if the target is different from the target of the previous attack.
Okay.
That's cool. All right. And then, just in case you forgot what you did before, attack 2 wound.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then add 2 if the target is different from the targets of both previous. Wow. Okay. This this is the kind of like for a level 1 burn card, that's kind of an impacting ability you want, right? You can
Yeah.
spread it around, chuck wound on 3 things. You could spend a trophy, put poison on something, and just hit it 3 times for that basically
Ooh.
attack 3.
Yeah.
And so you can burn something down, or yeah, you can spread it out, or even just do the first 2 on one target and the third one on a other target,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get your bonus damage there.
Really
So
flexible.
yeah, that's really cool. Again, it's really cool, but rather than a big hit, especially when you're poisoning things, because you have flexibility where if you draw your crit, right, and you go, oh wow, I just did 6 damage to this thing, oh, it's dead. Oh well, now the rest of my things are wasted. No, I can chuck on something else.
100%. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
almost like when you're getting swarmed by oozes or something like that. You can obviously see if they're all really low, see whether or not you actually killed the one or you just go again, right? It's very flexible like that. I like that.
yeah, that's cool. And the other cool thing as well is if he leaves them on 1 HP and they've got wound on them, he still gets a trophy from the dying. So it's
Yeah.
actually kind of like, again, it just increases that reach. You go, well, I'm going to hit for 2. If they're poisoned, I'm hitting for 3. But really, I'm kind of hitting for 4 because as long as I put wound on them, they're not going to get to have another turn. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And the bottom is a teleport 3. So far, we've
Second.
had, yeah, second teleport. And wound within range 1. Okay, just appear next to something and give it wound.
And
Again,
yeah, well, that top is not. It's not going to use until the conditions met, which always makes me go, well, then it's just a plain attack 2, right? But the bottom being a teleport 3 on an initiative 14 gives him so much flexibility right at the very start for going in or coming out, right? Repositioning. And that's predominantly what it's probably going to be used for until he finally unloads on the top at the right time. So I think
yeah,
that's a really cool card.
it is. Yep.
We got Mantle of Dread. It's going at 96, so that's probably the slowest card in our group, I would dare say. That's not a long rest. It's a poison targeting all within range 1, which is also like a really cool way of doing that. Just it's got to be in range. Oh no. If he consumes dark, it becomes range 2. So that's obviously an element that he has no problems creating. Target basically poison all target 2 and an XP. Really good. Really,
Yeah.
really good, especially maybe if he goes late for the following round. Who knows? I think I'm just talking about poison again. The fact that it also blocks healing is so good for so many other mobs that, annoy us when they almost die and then they pull a nice little self heal, which is happening lately. No, really cool. The bottom of it, after one of your move or teleport abilities each turn, give wound or muddle to one adjacent enemy. It's a persistent burn, 2 XP, and create dark. So after you move or teleport ability, give wound or muddle to one adjacent enemy. Okay. So it's one or the other to
Yeah.
one adjacent enemy.
That's that's pretty spicy. That's a tricky card because the top of that you can see a world where, like as you said, you go late, you move in, you poison 2 or 3 enemies, right? And
Yeah.
then the next turn you can kind of go nuts at them, start beating them up, and yeah,
Yeah, it's weird because I was just about to be like, I don't know how good that is. And then I looked over at Skull Collection. It's poison and muddle. He's got lacerating stabs, which is wound, but it's a burn. And then obviously he's got the bottom of it, which is a target 1 when he's moving. So he's got no other, so far, reliable way of getting wound out. And that is a reliable way of getting wound out. So it's kind of went down and then elevated itself in my head. Um, just very
yeah,
beautifully.
yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Next one is skewer the flesh. Okay, so attack 1, immobilize. Sorry, goes at 86. 86, so another late one.
Hmm.
Attack 1, immobilize. Attack 1, immobilize. All right, so not a burn. So here you go. You've got your little kind of do damage
Here
things.
comes the control, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the succumb to fear that we read just wanted negative conditions on them. It didn't matter which ones they were. So I guess immobilize
Oh,
is
forgot about
another
that.
one that you can
Yeah.
use to stack up to get your bane going out. And then the bottom of it is teleport 3. So again, does this guy have legs? I'm pretty sure he had legs. Like,
He looks faster than the coral. Not gonna
okay,
lie.
cool.
Just he
Yep,
moves
that's fine.
further and complains less by the looks of it.
Ooh.
Oh, it is with Mark though. So we'll have to wait and see.
So it's a teleport 3, and then you can spend a trophy, eat a dark to go invisible. just yourself this time, not everybody else.
No, it needs a buff.
Okay. But I mean, look, that's again, you're looking at the ability to teleport into a group of enemies, and if you've got the elements up to make yourself invisible, and then doesn't matter what you do next turn, you can go really late, right? And then kind of, get amongst it.
No, awesome. We obviously have Skull Collection, which we've already covered. Staring into the Abyss, we've got a 63 initiative, which is real weird, but I think we need more like 40 to 60 representation in the game so that people can complain more. I think that's what this one's doing. It obviously also means the card is probably quite good. So we've got a stun range 1, sure. Okay. If we eat a trophy and we eat our dark, we can actually target a second target. Okay, that's cool. This is where, yeah, I can start to see the controlling aspect of it. Yes, the defense is low, but if you time your invisibility correct, you can invisibly be in all the chaotic areas, just going immobilize, stun, blah blah blah. Which is, it's a pretty niche role to sort of have and decide when you want to open with, I don't know, a lacerating stabs or anything like that. No, it's a reliable stun. Love it. Move 2 down the bottom, consume a trophy 2, disarm something in range 1. A move into the disarm is also really good. Takes me back to Shackles. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's your CC, your hard CC card right there.
Yeah, it seems, and the top not being an attack, while very niche, is also interesting because it means you can do it when you're disarmed, which not that we get disarmed very often, but there are other things that can, do. It means you don't get retaliated against when you do it, so you can hit something that's got retaliate and you don't cop it back just to want to disarm them. So again, that's really cool.
Love it.
We read Succumb to Fear, so that's the one that chucks Bane out there, which I'm seeing more and more how there's a good chance that you're going to get negative effects on people. So the next one is Tumultuous Panic.
Mm-hmm.
You reckon I said that right?
Tumultuous, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. Which is an attack 1, move 2, attack 2. Okay, cool. So this is again that multi-target hitting a couple of times to make the most of the poison that you're throwing out there.
I think people like these cards that have attack and move on the same top. It's usually in the assassin-y, roguey type of characters. And it always makes people happy, obviously, from a movement point of view. So it's nice to see that there's at least one in here that isn't a burn.
Yeah.
And you're right, with Skull Collection again, if you can fit 2 attacks in, that's plus 2 damage at least to the actual attack ability. So
yeah, that's it. And the cool thing with that is you can always just use it to reposition. So you attack, then you move through, even if it's around the hex to the other side of it, so you're in a better position next turn, you still hit the same thing. You don't have to hit a different target. So again, you are getting heaps of value out of that poison. And then the bottom is a teleport 4, immobilize all within range 1, then teleport 2, then disarm at range 1.
I love that.
Wow. It is a burn. Okay, so you're not doing this every turn.
Oh, it has to be.
But you are okay. Wow,
that is such an incredible burn, and it's so unique to be able to go in there. I've got like from other characters I've played a movement and immobilize, but then you kind of like next to them.
Yeah,
this is the only one I've seen that lets you reposition straight after you've done it.
Yeah, that's what I feel as well. I've had a couple of characters that it's like, you're kind of supposed to go in there and immobilize things, be like, but then they're just gonna hit me.
Yeah,
like
that's why you have to go late to do it, right?
Yeah,
and then play early next time. You don't have to with this.
No, and then not only does it get you out, like it could not have the disarm on that, and I feel like you'd still say there's value in this, right? Jumping in, immobilizing everything around you, and then getting away, or even just that's basically teleport 6, essentially, right? That's pretty good on a burn. But the fact that wherever you land next, you're like, oh, you're also disarmed.
Yeah.
Like
that's a crazy amount of CC.
Yeah, that's really cool. It goes at 66. Sorry, I did forget the initiative. So again, it is very mid. So it's kind of fascinating what you combine with. But I love the design of something like this, where I reckon the top you're using every single cycle because it's always going to be good, right? That's 3 attacks. You're drawing AMDs. That's always good. But then when you need to, you've got that bottom for an impact play.
Yeah.
So
fascinating. Yeah. Like you could literally grab a group. So blink in, immobilize the whole group, go to the important targets, the squishy targets maybe in the back. He blinks over there. He disarms them so he can safely stand next to them. Pop lacerating stabs. Make sure he skull collections as well to make sure they're all poisoned. And knows that he's got a turn after this where they're not going to do anything. Whilst everyone else is like, hey, thanks for also disabling all the stuff that was coming towards us.
Yep.
Just from those two kind of cards, which is like really cool.
And in the turn that he plays lacerating stabs, which is going at 14, right? You play the bottom of skewer of flesh where you get to teleport away and go invisible. And so you basically teleport in, immobilize everything, disarm something else, do a shit ton of damage, and then teleport out and go invisible and be like, yep, what up? Like
yeah,
seems
okay.
fun. Seems
Blink
fun.
Crab.
Yeah.
Haunting Brutality. So we're entering X territory now. So we've got the 3 X cards. This one's a 23 initiative, which is pretty good. We've got an attack 3, consume dark, and to wound and poison a target, which is nice. It's combining the 2 status effects that usually come on separate cards, setting up for another turn. There's been no attack on the bottom yet, has there? No. Okay. Not even. Usually they're reserved for burn cards and things like that. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Another spender for the dark element. The bottom is a teleport 6. If he didn't have movement issues before, he definitely doesn't have them now. With a move 6, all adjacent enemies suffer 2 damage. So that's pure damage. It's a burn. And yeah, I like that teleport also doesn't require line of sight and all those other things as well. So pretty much go wherever the hell you want within range 6 and yeah, do some pure damage.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, good initiative. I like that there is as you said, the dark spender there is good because looking at a couple of the others, they're all for extra kind of like make yourself invisible or add an extra target or range. Like there's none this. I've got dark up and I just want to pump, right? Like I'm gonna hit something and I've got this dark. I don't want to just not do anything with it. Right.
You're right. And what I said earlier with Skull Collection, I'm now scrolling back up to look at some of the older cards with Hollow Aura and Inkclad. They're the only real reliable dark generators, which is why Skull Collection is also going to be obviously really handy to get out early so that you are in control of making sure it's up as often. So yeah, the whole getting the trophies is being tied to Wound and Bane is like the really cool control part to make sure this doesn't get out of hand because obviously you can't just go fully into something else. Otherwise, you're not going to be getting your trophies.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So what was that? It was
Haunting Brutality.
All right. So next X card is Morbid Camouflage. This, sounds grim. So attack 2. Sorry, no, 31 initiative. Got to get that right. So 31 initiative. So we're kind of okay. That's all right. Starting to get a little bit crappy initiative.
That's the card that he plays and then comes back. He goes into the kitchen for some reason, comes back and I'm going second last on a 31.
Yeah.
That's what that is right there.
100%. And we'll post that moment when it happens. So that's an attack 2. If this attack kills an enemy, gain invisible and 1 XP. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, I love that idea. Morbid Camouflage. So you kill them and then you hide inside them. Oh dear.
Still how it works, right?
Sometimes the theme 100% that's what it is, right?
Oh, okay.
Like I love when
family
the theme
game.
Yeah, family Frosthaven crab murdering game, right? All right, and the bottom is a move 2 if this movement ends in a hex with a loot token gain invisible.
Wow.
Squeeze me. All right. Okay, cool. So just guys, I need to loot this. I'm invisible now. It's kind of cool, right? Like that's a way. It's like a conditional invisibility that you can probably use pretty reliably, but at the same point,
in our group, yes.
Well, yeah, because no one loots. So yeah, I like that. Again, it's a good flex card.
Not a big fan. The last X card is Soul Hunger. Bane. Target 1 adjacent normal or elite enemy that has 2 or more negative conditions. So it's 1 less than Succumb to Fear. And you get to heal 5 self as a burn. Oh, that's where it changes. Okay, so it's a burn. It's an emergency heal potentially, and Bane something on the way out, I guess. Okay, nice. Goes at a 91, nice and slow. He's got quite a few real late ones with 86, 96, and now 91. And I accidentally saw the next one. If you have Invis, gain a trophy. Teleport 3.
Okay.
He's got so much teleport and then create dark.
Interesting.
I'm
Okay,
so
cool.
jealous of all the movement.
Oh, me too. I know. Like, jump what? like you don't care. Like difficult terrain, what's that, right? Like
He's got more
so.
cards with teleports on than actual moves.
Again, I love this idea of how the invis being another positive benefit. So
Yeah.
there's not just a reason to use invis as a defensive tool. He can also just again continue to use it as the generator. So if he in his cycle of cards, I keep saying he, but I assume I'm talking about Mark. But in the player's cycle of cards, making themselves invisible and then using that is like a guaranteed way of making sure that you at least get one trophy every cycle, right? So it kind of
Mm.
makes this engine a little bit more reliable because you don't have to kill things with wound and bane, or just kill things. You can go, oh, well, looking at my cards, I play them in the right order. I'm probably going to get 1, 2 trophies every cycle, which is good
Mm.
because it builds up that engine. So yeah,
No,
cool. I like.
the basic cards, if you were starting at level 1, look like a lot of fun to play with. Like just
Yeah,
straight up, looks like a lot of fun. And we've already called out some of the obvious synergies, and it doesn't look overly complicated either. Yeah, there's nothing that screams to me like wall of text. Wait, how and when am I going to use this? And it's really niche. It just seems like there's a lot of flexibility. Like a
mhm.
lot of your character, your class is very flexible, right? This feels like a very flexible class that's up there, not so much in the mind melting, but in terms of options, you're always going to have something cool to do, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It looks like you've got attacks and cool ways of moving and some cool status effects. And so it's about how you combo those things to ultimately kind of maximize your damage, which is a cool way of adding a complexity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So the first level 2 card is Lie in Wait.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that? Curse target 3. Okay.
Okay.
At range 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then if you just 3 targets getting a curse wasn't enough, you can use a trophy to get an extra target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then add 1 range if you have invis.
Further
Okay.
feeding
Okay.
into the invis synergy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. I mean, again, like just looking at the top of that and the bottom of Soul Hunger, they can be played together. So you go invis, right? The next turn you play those 2 things. You chuck a bunch of curses out, and then you teleport away, and you end up with
Mm.
a trophy. Like this is pretty cool. And that's again where the support comes in, right? Like curses help everybody.
Yes.
That's the cool thing. It is going at 98 as well. So talking about late initiatives, that's another late one. And the bottom is teleport 3. Eat a trophy to heal yourself. Okay, cool. So that's the first non-burn heal.
Yeah,
Which
the first reliable, I guess, you can keep doing it.
mm,
Heal.
yeah,
Um,
that seems like a good level 2 card. Let's see what the next one
it's
is.
going to be a real change to what he's used to, I guess, with unlimited healing, apparently. Level 2, other one is 89 initiative, slipping into death. It's an attack 1, consume dark to add 1, making it an attack 2. If you killed an enemy with the attack ability, perform Bane, targeting 1 normal enemy adjacent to the hex the killed enemy occupied. Okay, cool. It's like a Bane splash on 1 extra target.
Interestingly, that's adjacent to the hex that it died in, right? So it's not adjacent to you. So you could chain this to the other side of an enemy.
Yeah, right. The one behind it or something like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
okay. So it's almost like being able to bane something, because bane's obviously really strong. You wouldn't want to be able to just throw ranged banes out there, but that essentially makes the bane range 2, provided you can kill the first target.
I just noticed a word on that card that's really important.
Okay, if you killed an enemy with the attack ability, perform 1
Normal,
normal to the
normal,
hex the enemy. Normal.
normal, normal.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Yes, normal. And then the bottom is a move to Bane again. Target 1 adjacent damaged enemy that has 4 or fewer hit points. Oh, okay. Sure.
Oh,
Way to ruin the buzz. Like,
I know, I know. It's like, hey, have Bane easier, but it's almost dead already. So, but look, again, we've talked about the trickiness sometimes when things have high shields, like and low life.
automatons, right? Pure, like, yeah.
Yeah, things like that that just or even when we have those weird battle goals that make things harder to kill, these are ways of getting through that. So yeah,
True.
cool.
Level
Uh
3, guys.
Level 3. Okay, cool. So first one, crippling terror. Okay, so this is a burn. at initiative 15.
Oh, yep.
Okay, so speed.
Mm-hmm.
So the burn top is attack 4, targeting 2. Okay, and you can use a trophy to push 2 and then immobilize and create dark. Okay, so that push and immobilize applies to all your targets. So okay, cool. So you hit both. You hit 2 targets and you push them both away and then immobilize them. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Mm. Definitely nice and situational, but also really good CC and also some damage in there, like 8 damage average for a level 3 kind of card, and a CC is
Mm.
pretty good. And then of course don't forget the sculling, whatever it's called, with poison and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the bottom is teleport 3. You and all allies add pierce 3 to all your attacks this round, targeting enemies within range 2 of yourself that have any negative conditions. All right. So you
Ooh.
teleport 3, okay, and any enemies within range 2 of you that have negative conditions, any negative conditions, everyone gets pierce 3 on them.
Yeah, okay.
That's cool. I like that. Like it's again, it's super niche and it's kind of tricky with level up card because you're
Yeah.
picking not based on a scenario. But that again, PS3 is massive, and to give everyone PS3 when we go through these scenarios when we've got either living spirits, things with 1 or 2 shield, even the slimes when we fight them, right? And they've got that 1 shield that just repeated attacks, it just adds up. Just going like, yep, great, cool. Everything that I've just chucked a negative condition on is now basically got no shields.
Really like crazy good for obviously for shields. It's just, yes, you're sacrificing a level up option to pick this card, and you're not always necessarily going to bring it. That's the only thing. I mean, look, it's still it's not a burn, all right? That's something you need to factor in. It's still a initiative 15 teleport 3, all right, on its own, which is pretty good. It's just, yeah, that piercing thing at the bottom, because there's no XP tied to it. There's no any of that, and you obviously have to set up a lot for it. So it's
Mhm.
going to be interesting to see if he values that when he's picking his cards.
Interestingly, though, and I agree because the top is not a I want to use all the time either. Obviously, it's a burn, so it's very situational. It's like a end of the kind of towards the end of the scenario one.
Hmm.
So it's really, are you going to get enough use out of the bottom to take it? Interesting because it's you and all allies and it's quick, right? You can actually see something like lacerating stabs, which hits 3 times, right? And applies wound. So again, you can get this situation where you hit something, put wound. That means your next attack now has pierce 3 on it, right? And you hit it again. And then the third one, you could chuck a poison on it using a trophy from Skull Collection, and then you've already got your pierce 3, and now you're hitting for what, 4, 5 with PS3.
Yeah,
Like, there's a way of comboing with your own abilities
that's
to actually
right.
get a decent chunk out of it,
Because
which so
that combo is not even a burn. Oh, it is a burn with lacerating
a
stabs.
burn,
But for
yeah.
other ones like Skewer the Flesh, I don't know. Like it's one, but you can make it better.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's interesting. It's yeah, keen to know what the next one is.
Hmm. Well, the next one I have for you right now. It's
Oh,
called Pinning Spines. It is an initiative 25, and it's a double attack, actually. So interesting. It's an attack 1 with a disarm. It's an attack 1 again after that with an immobilize. They can be put on the same target. They can be split apart. And then, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure how to think about the ones at the moment other than increasing I guess, the poison and putting status effects on certain things. Disarm's obviously really nice, and so is immobilize for control. If that's mostly what it's being used for, then yeah, I get it. But I'll look at the bottom and see if that helps. Immobilize all within range 5? 5, okay. Immobilize all within range 5. All enemies that have immobilized suffer 2 damage. That's pretty good. It's a burn.
so interestingly, if a that's not all enemies that you just applied immobilize to, right? So if you
It would be,
it's
because
not it's
they're
not
broken up by a line. So
so if an enemy that you has immobilized from a different target earlier in the round, it still has it when you play
yes,
that card, it will take damage?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Because wasn't there a Skewer the Flesh, which is attack 1 immobilize, attack 1 immobilize,
true.
is also mobilizing. So,
It's just there's no movement tied to this bottom. That's all. Like
that's true. Yeah,
everything else
yeah.
has a little mini teleport, which seems to be a teleport 3. It seems to be the minimum that I can see at the moment. But yeah, that would be the only thing is you have to be in position to get that kind of a combo off already.
Yeah, so level 3 seems a really interesting level because you've got one has a top burn, one has a bottom burn. The bottoms are both seem pretty situational. So it's an interesting decision there. Like it's good that it's not a here's a situational damage card versus just a like pure you'll take do this to do heaps of damage card because then it becomes not easy but it becomes a bit one sided. So
Yeah, it's it's I'd be curious to see what players generally pick and gravitate towards out of these 2 level 3 cards and whether or not they skip it or pick up the other level 2.
well, that's the thing with this decision, and not to keep going on, but it seems like it's not a decision because both of them are amazing. It's a decision because all 4 abilities across the 2 cards are just different, like really different, right?
They all have really cool purposes.
Yeah.
You're going CC, you pick the top of, you pick pinning spines, right? Great for CC builds, especially the whole card is great for CCing, right? And the other side is, you got your big hit in there that has some CC tied to it, and obviously a very big team play card that's going to really help in, some scenarios where if you're struggling with pure damage. I mean, party makeup's going to be another important part, is how much pure damage do we have? And right now, not much. Whereas before with shackles and all of that, it may not have been that important. Don't know.
All right. Are we stopping at 3?
Well, we can level 4 now, and now part of the campaign.
That's true. So do we go to level 4?
I think so. I think you're doing Crushing Darkness right now. Okay, go.
Okay, initiative 40. I've already started. Whoops. All right. So initiative 40, and top is an attack 4. Consume a trophy to give +1 attack, so attack 5, and it curses. Okay, sorry, yeah. So you need to consume the trophy to get +1 attack and a curse and an XP.
Yep.
Not a burn. An attack 5, pretty reliable attack. Or an attack 4 on a card is good. A reliable attack 5 on a card is pretty.
And we can safely assume it's going to be an attack 6 because everything should obviously be poisoned.
Yeah, not bad. Okay. Especially it's hilarious compared to the 4 abilities we've just looked over the level 3 cards, and this one's just like just hit real hard. That's it. Like
so you want one of those.
Yeah. And the bottom is muddle all within range 2. Or eat dark, and that becomes range 3.
Plus range 3. It becomes range 5.
Oh, it's plus.
Yes.
Oh god, plus range 5. That's crazy.
That is room. That is just 100% room. And obviously, you have no problems getting into the right position to get these things off earlier. That's a crazy amount of status effects.
It is. And I think again it plays into this idea that you really can go late, teleport into the middle of a bunch of enemies, and just spend 2 turns throwing out status effects because copying 3 or 4 attacks if they've all got disadvantage, as long as you've kind of you're pretty healthy, you got a decent chance of like not taking heaps of damage out of that. And considering how much you play with status effects, again, that's great. So cool. 40 initiative is a bit but I mean,
It's got some healthy low ones and late ones to play around with, I guess. Grim Trophies. Loot 1. Okay, it's an initiative 18, so that's a very familiar number in our world. Every class has one of these numbers. I'm almost certain of it.
I saw a 23 before and I was going to say something.
Yeah, okay. Loot 1. Gain 1 trophy for each loot token looted. Yeah, and that's not a burn. I mean, that's real, that's going to help accelerate. I mean, not only that, it forces him to then loot. It is a top. But still, that's 1 round of just going, you know what? And it's a room, it's a loot 1. It's not the tile he ends his turn on. So he can go straight to 5. In our scenarios, he could go straight to max.
Yeah.
Because we leave that much crap alone.
Yeah, the piles of loot that pile up around us, yeah. Okay.
Just like that. The bottom of it is spend any number of trophies. For each trophy spent, perform a move, 1, attack 1. Wow. I like that card so much.
Wow. So there's a crab card that's very similar to that, but is a burn card and is generally perceived to be busted. Because when you throw things like power potions in on it,
Oh.
or other things that say, hey, have an extra number on all your attacks this round.
I've literally just misread this as, spend 5 trophies, move 5, attack 5. This is 5 instances of move 1, attack 1.
Yes, that's how I misread. That's how I misread the trap. The coral card the first time as well. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, it stacks up, so you get like a big move and a big attack. Nah, so this is with the right combo of stuff, room clearing.
Yeah. And
right?
it's a
Especially with
bottom.
everything poisoned. Yeah, it's bottom, right?
Attacks on bottom are just so rare.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. And so it doesn't have to be the max 5 trophies. Even 2 or 3 of going out there with the right items and going out. Cool. I'm gonna do a bunch of attack 2s or 3s, and then I get to play a top.
Yeah.
Right. Then I'm like,
Mm.
oh, cool. By the way, I've also got these other really good cards that I've played. So again, that seems like a cool combo card.
Amazing.
Also tough.
Pardon?
Level 4
Oh,
decision also tough.
yeah. That is tough. I'm totally leaning towards Grim Trophies, but it's not my character. But I can see why it would be a tough decision.
It's hard, right? Because getting the trophies is obviously really important for the engine, right? And I think if you take Grim trophies and you can make it work for you, you can probably lay off a little bit on the trophy generating items because you can try and go, well, it's all right. Each cycle, I'll try and get 2 or 3 trophies from that, but it is a top, so you are losing out on an attack. And so it's this kind of like, oh, are you going to want to do that every turn? Or are you going to be in a position where you'd rather try to generate them other ways? And it's tricky starting at 4 because you don't know. You don't know how often you're going to be killing things with Wound and maybe Bane, but also just killing things in general. And you end up finding out that your level 4 card, you're like, oh, I don't really need it.
Yeah. Look, there's another thing I'm looking at. There is an item, I'm not going to say which one, that lets you do the top and bottom of the same card. Right? So if he was ever low, you could just be like, I'll take all that. And
So
then.
you take everything and then you perform 5 move 1 attack.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Look, super cool. I guess first impressions of all of those cards seemed like this looks like a lot of fun.
Mm.
Like just that at the core of it, just looks like a lot of fun to play with, and some cool spaces of abilities and different things we haven't seen much of.
Yeah.
So
No, I like what I'm seeing so far. I'm very excited. Shall we go over the perks and masteries and all of that good stuff?
yep.
I'm very curious about the AMD. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but just based on all these little tiny attacks, I kind of want to see what it's got going for it.
So, I mean, just having a quick look, it looks like you can get rid of 2, 3, 4, 4 of your -1. So, does everyone have 5 or 4?
-1's 5.
5. Okay, so you say with that, but you do. Oh, you end up with 2. Okay, because you're gonna replace a -2 with a -1 stun. Oh, cool. Why not? Right.
Yeah. And there's
Also,
another one that's like +0 in disarm. So obviously the CC is hard coming into the AMD.
Okay, cool. And then you get a whole bunch of invis selves and some
Invis
pierce.
self.
And
Pierce.
okay, yeah. Okay, so I guess just as in a nutshell, from the AMD side of things, you're going to be able to throw out a chunk of or a bunch of negative conditions. So again, if you're trying to get those negative conditions out to trigger your abilities, there are AMD, especially if you're attacking multiple targets, right? Like
Yeah.
that ink cloud, I think it was, or no, not ink cloud. The whatever the attack everyone around you one was. I mean, you hit 2 or 3 targets, 2 or 3 things. Like again, you're going to get heaps of these out.
Yeah.
So status effects everywhere, which makes that one that gives everyone pierce to everything around you with the status effect again even better. So
he's also got add 2 + 1, so 6 altogether of gaining a trophy, which is another really fun way of just accumulating trophies as you go.
yeah,
Which is really
and
cool.
that's what just makes me lean more towards. I don't know if you need the loot one, get all the trophies. Like I feel like there might be a world in which, yeah. Anyway, fascinating. It'd be really interesting.
This is where if you had this character at level 1 or even level 2, you play a few scenarios and get your feel for your tempo and all of that, because sometimes I've played other classes where I struggle to get a key thing happening. And then as I progressed and altered the AMD, it started to work in my favor. Like it started to get used to it, right? So it's probably one of those situations. Whether or not he starts at 1, 4, or what, or somewhere in between, it's up to him.
Although in saying that, with Skull Collection out, you have 3 options to spend trophies. So I feel like there isn't really a world where you go, like, oh, I've got too many trophies. I don't know what
No.
to do with them all, right? Like, you're
Yeah.
like, does everything just want to have poison and muddle? Oh, by the way, I'll create dark every turn. You're right. Like, so I retract that. Having unlimited trophies seems awesome.
Yeah. And we haven't even seen the rest of the cards, right? Whenever you long rest, you may loot one. He's already obviously got ignore scenario effects. He loves that one. It's the first one he'll get.
But plus 2 zeros.
Yeah.
Remove 2 zeros. That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You get, I think base you have 6, so that'll be nice. And I haven't looked to see how many others he replaces. Whenever you long rest, you may loot 1 adjacent hex. If you gain any loot tokens, add a trophy. Okay, so there's more looting trophy stuff.
Cool.
Start of each scenario, gain 2 trophies.
Oh, okay. All right then.
It's not a bad perk.
Yep.
And he's got a triple Gaz.
Ooh.
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 Yeah.
While you have invisible,
Yeah.
gain advantage on all your attacks.
Yeah. It's like you in the water, right?
Yeah, but like it seems to be more achievable.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, no, I won't say that. It seems to be achievable in a different
less
way
restrictive.
because it's all within your control,
Yes.
right? Like the water one was tricky because you move out of water or you get in other people's way or there can be other tokens down, right? But this one seems like you could base your deck around it and your items to make sure you've got invis.
That's really cool.
And you don't need it all the time. You only need it when you're going to attack. So as long as you know when you can do turns when you don't attack, because there was a couple of cards in there that throw shit out that aren't attacks.
Stuns and stuff, yeah.
Right. Yeah, you throw things out, and when you go, okay, cool, well, I'm gonna do an attack next turn, right? I'll just make sure I get invis this turn.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
And I'm wondering how important is it to invest in items that give invis. There's one that I think has a dark consumption and something else that we've had forever. That will give hit to him on demand for times when, like he obviously utilizes invis better than anyone. So it'd be a good item.
Yeah.
Do you want to do his masteries?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So perform all of your attacks with advantage.
Oh my god.
There we go. All right. I mean, so this is an interesting one because you can kind of cheese it a little bit.
With strengthen,
right? Well, there's that as well. I didn't think of that. Okay, so you've got strengthen. You've got the invis 3 perker, and you can just not attack.
Yeah.
Like if you get the invis 3 perker, right, and do that a few times, on your not attacking turns, you use one of your 3 status effects out that aren't attacks.
Yep.
You get around it. Right? And it's one of those ones that is really good to achieve because you can play half or 3/4 of the scenario, and if you're on track, you can get to the end and go, you know what, I can get through these last 3 turns without having to break it, and therefore we're fine. It's not one that you have to book the whole scenario to do it. You can just end up accidentally in the right position where you're like, oh, I'm mostly there. I can probably just, massage this a bit and get there. So that's an interesting one and probably reasonably easy compared to some of the others we've seen.
Yeah. Shits me. The second one is infuse dark each round.
Ooh, that's a bit harder.
Why?
Well, you play a card that generates dark every turn.
He can eat a trophy to create dark every turn.
Oh. Yeah, true. Okay. So not easy, but yeah, you're right. Like you kind of can fill in the gaps where you don't create dark through your cards with the trophy one. Yeah, makes sense. I feel like both of those masteries are achievable with an item to fill in the gaps for when your cards and or the scenario doesn't play along. So
yes,
bringing in a strengthen potion, right, is for that one turn that you don't have invis, and you want to give yourself strengthen so you can attack and not book your mastery. And then the potion that infuses elements is the other one for the dark one, right? Like you can create dark, you can use trophies for dark, and then you can yeah, how do you do it on your rest round?
I
I guess
was
you
just
have to have
looking
a
into that. I was thinking about long rest. You can still do skull collection because it's not an
yeah,
attack.
yeah. So that's again one that you need to make sure that you've got
Oh, why can't mine be that easy? Every character. So in
uh
summary,
mm,
I think Mark is going to love this. I think it's going to give him enough flexibility that he can really just do whatever he wants. It allows him to play aggressive without being reckless. I mean, he can be reckless with it, definitely. But the tools are there that he can jump in, go invis, get lots of damage off, lots of status effects. He's going to have fun tracking things like wound, and so is our DPS meter, if that's going to be something that Phil's going to have to start tracking. It's like the opposite. Before he constantly was healing, but now he's causing, a lot of ticking damage. But yeah, I think he's actually gonna really have a good time
yeah.
with what it can do.
Yeah, some of the cards looking through this, it gives me slight visions, not complete, of the music note from Gloomhaven. Just with the amount of like lockdown that you can kind of provide, just with the immobilize and the disarms and stuff like that. And we haven't seen a lot of that in Frosthaven, right? We've seen probably immobilize a little bit, but not like again the big group immobilize that gets you out, or reliable ways of throwing things like stun or disarm. And I feel like there is a way that you can play this really supporty, which is weird that, but yeah, maybe the game doesn't classify that as support, but it's just like mitigating heaps of damage.
Yeah.
Because there was heaps of cards that do that. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see which way he takes us. I can kind of guarantee though that like while this is a melee character and a frontliner, it's almost never going to get targeted, right? I feel like it'll just be a case of if it's ever going to get targeted, it'll just be invisible,
Yes.
which is going to make our group up real interesting. So we'll have to talk about that on the pod.
Yes. Yeah, real interesting. It's cool because traditionally in games like this, I don't know, you've got the dark assassin type who goes invis and stabs from the dark and can move around a lot. It's a crab. And that's what makes it cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that is it's a really good call. It's a really fun different take on the dark assassin style invis character,
Hmm.
right? Like it's not a trope. It's yeah. So no, I love it. I think it's great. I've really enjoyed like the unboxing and going through the abilities. I think it looks like a really cool design, and I'm just really keen to see it on the table
Yeah.
and how it plays out. Yeah.
Same. All right. Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes on our session on Monday, and we may talk a little bit about it on the pod. But yeah, we will catch everyone else off for the next unboxing, which hopefully will be coming soon.
Hopefully.
2 left. Bye.
Bye.